The search for new and better treatment options in cancer medicine is constantly moving forward. And clinical trials are an essential part of this research, but they still focus primarily on adult cancer patients. However, children are not small adults. Their bodies function differently, their metabolism works differently, and their organs are still developing, and so on. And above all, they have completely different types of cancer than adults do. Therefore, it is important to develop treatments for children and adolescents with cancer that are specifically tailored to them. But if you look more closely, you might have already noticed something. There are far fewer clinical trials for children and adolescents with cancer than there are for adults. And why is that? Well, the main reason is probably obvious, because fortunately, children develop cancer much less frequently than adults do. Just for comparison, in Europe, approximately 21,000 children and adolescents are newly diagnosed with cancer every year. But among adults, it is more than 4 million. This also means that it is not always easy to find enough young patients to investigate treatment options in clinical trials. Especially considering that behind the low total number of children with cancer, there is also a wide variety of different types of cancer in children. That is due to different reasons, such as age and developmental stages, or due to the various clinical pictures and disease progressions. At the same time, unfortunately, trials are complex. They cost an incredible amount of time and money. The focus in developing new treatments is therefore often on adults because, as mentioned, there are more patients, making it more worthwhile from an economic perspective. That is harsh, but that is reality. And that is also why cancer drugs for adults that could also work for children have not always been tested for children in clinical trials. But that is exactly what is important, so that doctors know what dosage children need and what side effects and long-term consequences can occur. But the good news is, the problem has been recognized, and something is being done. In the future, European legislation is to be changed so that cancer drugs that work well in adults must also be tested for children if everything indicates they could help them too. In addition, efforts are being made in pediatric cancer research to develop more treatments specifically intended for children and adolescents. And together with pediatric cancer centers in other countries, international networks, and pharmaceutical companies, the Hopp Children's Cancer Center is working to ensure more clinical trials for children. We have linked the most important regional trial networks and websites listing clinical trials for children in Germany and Europe below this video. These networks also enable participation in clinical trials, so that young patients can get access to new therapies that are otherwise not available. But no matter where you're treated, it's important to know that you can usually assume your home clinic will refer you to the right clinical trial if a new promising therapy is being used elsewhere. Especially in pediatric oncology, all clinics work closely together and exchange information with each other. To participate in a clinical trial, you then have to go to the corresponding trial center, which is the clinic where the study is actually being conducted. However, the trial center usually remains in close contact with your home clinic, to which you also continue to be connected. So, and if that was all a bit too fast for you, or if you have any further questions about it, then just contact your treating doctors at any time. They can best provide you with information and about what options your child or you as a teenager personally have for participating in a clinical trial.